Namaste and welcome, beloved mighty companions. Oh, how beautiful. How beautiful it is to see you. And boy, when Jesus says to do something, he takes you on the ride for sure. For sure. Like things that we can't possibly imagine, have any imagination when we saying yes to the Lord, the one who knows. So beautiful. So I think I mentioned Teresa was generous enough. Jesus has been saying, I mentioned that, record these joinings when we join. And we really ask to do that. And part of it, as I said, what we do is we put it on YouTube live, not live to everyone. Okay. So but because that's the easiest way for us to record them. For some reason, we can't upload video that well unless we live record it. So record this beautiful joining, like the crystal clarity that's coming through everyone, just, screaming through Teresa. So I'm hearing from Jesus, okay, yes, it's helpful for us to join together. Okay, this is such a beautiful conversation. So I am going to ask her if it's all right. So I share it with everyone, but we played it here. And Jesus is saying, okay, now extend this out to course teachers. So which we're starting to do. He says, jump. We say, okay, how high? What purpose is this? This is for all course students. It's so easy to start hearing that we're light and having these conversations with Jesus like he's sitting right next to you, which he is. So anyway, so here's Teresa again. She's just given such a gift to everyone. What came through, because I said, there are beings that want to join. And when we join again and start speaking these words, Jesus isn't a pressure cooker. The ego's the pressure cooker. We're just starting with infinite light, and the light of divine being and honesty of God. Is there light here? We'll start with the light. Always start with the light, Jesus says. Oh my God, so much happiness. And she's saying that in the video at the end. It's just so much joy to be this light. Yes, that's all the master is saying. So then I'm encouraging everyone to join. So I text her and said, okay, I'm going to start sending people to you to join with you. Because if I hear it, of course, I'm going to say it for all of you. And I've said that already, it's our function to join and practice. It's not putting people on the spot. Just make sure there's no people here to be put on the spot. That's an idea. We can ask Jesus, is there any desire for an experience of being put on the spot to ask to join with my brother? Let's see what he says. Is joining given for me as most helpful for me to practice? Because there's nobody out there that we're talking to. First of all, it's for us. So she says, I received your note, feeling to send people to me so I can help. Just help them learn the process, but watch what happens here. It's not she has some clarity on it, right? We've been going through that instructions sheet and she's been practicing that. Ego and me started rearing up via, here it comes, fear. Right? It's just to look at where we're denying divinity. That's all it's for. Like an instant default response. Like everything in me was saying, no, I can't, or I don't want to. So I asked Jesus to go to the one who knows. And listen to this. What is underneath this fear? He showed me that I don't want people to come to me because I feel like I need to know or do something apart from him. That is where all the nervousness and anxiety appears to come from. That upside down probably belief she means. So that's why this is perfect. These conversations with Jesus are just precious. I get to practice listening to Jesus for guidance, to be still. I can't help anyone. I can only listen and be. Do you see? This is practicing being and listening so that voice comes through us. I'm just an empty vessel, just as my brother is for the voice for God. As the willingness to listen. So it sort of feels more like my brother will help me learn to listen when we join. Oh my gosh, it's so precious. We, as you so beautifully remind us, cannot join through talking, but only in recognize we are the same light of love. So Jesus, despite all the fear and resistance, I'm willing to be shown that love is everywhere, and it is only thoughts of fear that make it appear otherwise. Yeah, it's beyond precious. That's all of us doing that. That's all of us together supporting each other, to listen for the voice in each other and support each other. Yes, you can hear and speak Jesus. This is our only function. And so easily, because it's our natural voice. So once again, we're just going to do a little check-in with the light, because see if there's just any energy about being the last one to wake up, the last one to hear Jesus. I'm the last one who's going to hear, or I can hear any kind of energy around. I hear Jesus better than anybody else. Any of those kind of little hilarious things that the consciousness plays, or I can't join with anybody. I don't have anything to offer. You are who all this needs to be offered is who you are. Show up with a smile and say, Jesus, what do I say? That's the only thing any of us can do. So we'll just ask them, okay, Jesus, show me, one, any uncertainty below my level of awareness that may come around joining with my brother. Jesus says, this is a required curriculum. Will you show me any desires there? Any uncertainty if I were to be called to join, if I get instructions for you, yes, this is good. And if that arises, just look at it with him. Okay, Jesus, is this true? I'm willing to see this and place this in the light. Help me see this another way through a miracle. And hear what he has to say about it. Okay, I'll tell you what he's saying, but you can hear him too. Is it a denial of divine infinite light not to join with your brother? Are you to follow Jesus's instructions about following your brother and who to join with? Hear what the light says. Is this what's given to be most helpful in laying gently aside personal identity, and that there's anyone else out there to speak to? Our brothers are coming together in this light brigade with a power and a force that is just to celebrate light, infinite, unchanging light, with the speed and simplicity of listening to God and each other. Wow. We're called. Therefore, it's Jesus, and we say yes. And if there are any doubt thoughts, hit that joining button and we can join on it. I'm available to join. I see how powerful it is. I see the gift sitting there listening to Teresa get that download. This is just listen to all you guys get the download. I'm learning. We can learn. That's how we learn. It's through our brother. So we were looking at persecution and how much that's really the joy ride, chapter 20, as we continue how persecution. So he's coming to, let's see, you believe you're without love. We'll just check in on that one. That was she had a beautiful conversation with Jesus on feeling like there's a shortage. We can check in on that. Jesus, is there any desire below my level of awareness for a shortage of love? Not enough love to go around. Is that a good one to look at for a miracle? Oh, it's yes. Okay. That's for the sonship. Is there any desire for limitation in love below our level of awareness? That experience? Place that feeling in the light of divine divinity, of infinity. Watch it go infinite. You feel it. You start to feel these things just go to infinite love. Limitless, infinite, unchanging love. That's our only function. Just watch these things like melt like butter. Uji calls it melt like ice in a glass of warm water. That's what Jesus is offering. None of the other kind of, I feel like I'm being shredded kind of things, which obviously that was a play here. And we don't see it till we see through it. However, Jesus is going, look with me at the desire to be special in awakening. I have a very special awakening. Mine's going to be rocket ships taking off, and it's innocent. See, it's innocence, but we're just looking at the play for that. Because when we look at the light, is there rocket ships going off in the light, or the light just here? Awakening's here already. We don't have to have a rocket ship ride and make all the sounds and the noise, and it's a party, or is the light just here? We just have to quit saying no to it. See, that's how simple Jesus is getting. See, honesty of God. See that you're light, deny light. Jesus says, you let me take care of all the fireworks. And we ask him, see, this is the great thing about having that voice. See, Jesus is, because these little plays in consciousness can be a delay. This is fantastic. That you'll start to catch on to it, but all of a sudden it's like, oh my gosh, I'm so blissed out. Oh wow, like this. If you ask Jesus, Jesus, is this a delay? Because the ego will play bliss out. The ego can play like it's going to play like it's awake. That's why we have to have that voice go. I love that. I told that story earlier today, the Muji tells, and it's so profoundly helpful about a woman that had her teacher told her, stay with the unchanging. And Jesus is saying that, stay with the light. Stay as the light. Is the light moving? Is it changing? We're focusing on pure infinite light here. Contemplate the light. As the light, you are the light, contemplate as it. That's revelatory. Revelations come to that. Oh yeah, wow. You just get these little pops, little realization pops. I don't know if they're pops, they're just little realizations about, yeah, that's true. That's right. That's true. These little things come. So she's meditating as light. And all of a sudden, like, the most amazing sounds, the songs of angels singing. Oh my gosh, this is fabulous. Until she realized, her teacher told her, is that the moving or the unmoving? See? That's how the ego will play. It'll come in and go, look at this glorious experience. See that the light doesn't have any experience. It just is infinite, unchanging light, supreme happiness for what it is, celebrating for what it is. It's not looking for an experience to celebrate itself. Just notice that in light. So then she's still sitting there in all these colors and dancing across, just You know, so many plays in consciousness. Take a ride in consciousness. You'll see these plays being described. Various people said, and then I died and I saw this and I saw that. Those are helpful. Everything's helpful. It's not to judge it. But even if you astrally project or have a near-death experience, you can still see that the light's here. Do you see? Those are means and plays in consciousness to reveal the unchanging nature of divinity. That's the way consciousness can reveal it to itself. But it's still, if you think a near-death experience and I was peaceful and happy, see, and when I die, I'll be peaceful and happy. See how that consciousness is going to play to put that out in the future. So what she realized is that there's a play in consciousness of the moving and of the changing. The light doesn't move or change. True reality doesn't move or change. It's just here. So that's what Jesus is pointing to. Don't get distracted by the movement or the colors, or if, you know, you're having mystical dreams, ask Jesus, is this helpful? He may say it's helpful. You know, but ask him, what do I need to see here? So we can be really clear. What's the play and what's happening? I was told that experience, it's Sahaja. I had to ask Jesus about it because I didn't know. Was the ego playing in this? What was this? You know, at the time, you know, you may have an experience. Well, I'm just asking him if, you know, because I ask him on everything. It feels like infinite love to say this, because where do you talk about this stuff? You know, it can't appear like I just couldn't find a body anywhere. Like I just couldn't find it. This is our natural state. Where is it? It was MIA. But I didn't feel afraid. It was actually just so extraordinary, because I knew those beings, oh my gosh, so much love in this. That's why I'm being reminded that how I was carried, you know, that I would be carried by my brothers at Sahaja. Was so amazing. So much love in that. And these things may occur, but we ask Jesus, see, Jesus, is this a play to avoid anything? Or is this really, you know, because I had been really doing this deep, silent listening, inner listening. And that's natural to us not have a body. But the thing about it is, too, is helpful to say about that is, without this looking with Jesus at the desires, then there's the return, then you're, I didn't remain at peace. Even though it's an extraordinary, quote unquote, experience, like, hey, there is no, I can't find a body. It's like, which is our natural state. And I wasn't afraid. It was like, okay, there's no body, I can't find a body. But it won't persist, because there were so many desires below the level of awareness to still participate in the game of consciousness. So that's why we're constantly being corrected by the voice that knows, yes, this is helpful. No, that's not helpful. Here's a release. This is not a release. You're using this to deny divinity. You know, do I need to look at that? And then it's, you know, then we're just like, the little rudder is being, we can't go sideways with something that seems to appear in consciousness. So we let him tell us, was this beyond consciousness? Is this helpful? What is it? So we can be really specific, so that we have the consistent experience of supreme happiness all the time, our happy hologram. So this is coming up on a really good one. Good topic, good subject, Jesus. Thank you very much. This is where we're talking about the kingdom of heaven. Okay. Okay. You believe you are without the kingdom of heaven. Oh, one more thing to say about that. It's this whole thing about it, because it's certainly not wanting to have fear. You know, suddenly you realize, oh, I'm not a body. That's the whole point. Like, if we look right now at the light of divine being, see, no one has to have any kind of special thing happening to see that there's no body here. It feels good to just be reminded. Everyone can see there's no body. We just have a concept in the mind of what we think we know about what a body is. That's all. So right now we can look. Does anybody have a body? So no one has a body. We just don't want to admit they don't. Okay. You believe you're without the kingdom of heaven. Thus you desire an experience of being without the kingdom of heaven. So let's just ask, Jesus, is there any desire for an experience of being without the kingdom of heaven? Is there anything else we need to know about the kingdom of heaven? He says, keep reading. Okay. So much love in that. So much love to hear that voice. Oh my goodness. What a gift. You believe that you have no access to the kingdom of heaven. See, this is what consciousness plays to make it. You desire an experience where you feel you have no access to the kingdom of heaven. Let's ask him to show us that. Is there any desire to feel like I have no access, like the gate is barred? This is one of those that will make the kingdom of heaven seem like it will be so happy. And then it's like, wait a minute, what happened to that peace? Is a desire for experience that you have no access. And with that, the desire for the experience for heaven to come and go. We'll ask Jesus, is there any desire for the experience of heaven to come and go? Oh, I want to put that right on up. Let's that, show me that desire directly. And you see, we can see how if that's floating around down there, it's not going to be able to be supreme happiness on a consistent basis. Once again, Jesus, you're so right. Okay. I'm just going to remind everyone that yesterday I mentioned the page number. I am going to say the page number 120, but I'm not necessarily encouraging you to follow along in the book on the page number. I'm going to mention the page number in case you hear from Jesus during the session to go back and look with him at anything specifically. Because so this allows everyone just to, you know, kind of just be in the attention with Jesus, you know, and just hear the words go by and ask Jesus. Okay, so when you be in full focus, I just want to mention that because someone said, well, it sounded like you're telling people to follow in the book. So I wanted to be really clear. It feels like what's most helpful is what we're doing now. We're just kind of listening and just seeing where he's telling us, look, you know, you still got this one. It's like, okay, I'm willing to see it and give it to you. You desire an experience where you feel the kingdom of heaven is denied you. Anything else on that, Jesus? He says all joy in seeing through that one. You can rest. You can start resting when you see these things are released. You're allowing yourself to rest in heaven. Okay. This next one's sort of the Rumi quote, where Rumi says, I've been knocking on the door and I finally realized I've been knocking on the inside. We're trying to get into something or out of the ego. We're trying to escape the ego or we can't, in the light of divine being and honesty of God, can we escape the ego? See, to try to escape it, here's the trick. Fight it, escape it. See that how much that makes it real. Let's ask the light. When I fight the ego, am I making it real? That's why he's taking it right to desire. It's underneath the desire to make it real. You can't make anything real with desire. It starts to feel real after that desire blooms into experience. You believe it takes time to recognize the kingdom of heaven. Oh boy, right? Let's look at this one. You desire an experience where it takes time to experience the kingdom of heaven. Is there anything left on any energy around that? These are good ones to sit down with him and just spend as much time as he'll deliver out with you. Because this is takes time to see who I am kind of idea that shows up. Like, why am I still not experiencing the supreme happiness? And Jesus will tell us directly, because you want death more than you want supreme happiness by desiring experience where it takes time to wake up. That's why we have to turn time over to him. Jesus, do we need to turn time over to you? Hear what that light says. Completely, without compromise, we do. If we want this to not have this delay in time, and it takes focus. I'm asking him, yes, direct, it takes full focus, like we're doing, with the light circles and really looking, well, let's just ask him. Because of all the distractions in the world that we really like, having this focus with him to listen to his voice and just shut out everything else, really. Because we're honoring divinity. See, when we listen to the voice for God, are we honoring divinity in our direct experience? Divine light within. Oh, that's... Jesus, is there anything else that we need to see around desire? You desire an experience where it takes time to experience the kingdom of heaven. It's coming. He said, the Father would not have this for you. You to believe that you are separate and outside the mind of God. You believe that the impossible being outside the mind of God is possible. You desire an experience of being outside the mind of God. Let's ask. Jesus, is there any desire for an experience to be outside the mind of God? Oh, and he says yes, Okay. There must be energy, Okay. We're going to change these to yawning session as energy clears. I always ask them, is that yawning helpful? Oh, yes, because that's just that suppressed energy, that tension release. See, tension is just lack of miracle constipation. I love this new language for the course. No, we can't take this stuff so serious. It's so serious. He doesn't, Jesus, oh my God, I'm gonna cry. It's like, Jesus, you want us to take this seriously? No. Ask him. I love that too. Talking to Teresa and the same thing, you know, and I'll join with Marguerite. She'll say, I said, what is Jesus saying about that? He said, he's just laughing. He's just laughing. Oh, it's so hilarious. Ah, miracle constipation. What's the problem? Miracle constipation. There's only one problem, and we know what it is now. Come on. I love how he's being so specific with those miracles too, where they are. Like when you talk to him, he'll correct you, you know, because you go, is this the thing to look at? If you're really listening carefully, you know, is this the most helpful thing to look at? He'll redirect that. No, what's under that is boom, like that. Look at this underneath it, boom. You believe that the impossible, being outside the mind of God, is possible. You desire an experience of being outside the mind of God. Jesus, is there anything else we need to see? He said, see how much denial of joy is in this. Is joy denied in this? In the light of divine being and honesty of God, can we be outside the mind of God even if we want to? We can't find that in the light. That's why, God, he's wrong. That's why to invite the light, joining is to invite the light. Can you see? Can we see this? It's for me to see, but we'll use those terms. Can we see this? Yes. Joining is to invite the light because we've been given the light the boot. Now we can invite it through joining. It's so, yeah, it becomes beyond description. You believe that having is opposite of giving. You desire an experience of having in opposition to giving. Let's just look at that. Well, first, Jesus is reminding me, having something. Let's ask the light if it has anything. Oh, that desire for ownership. Jesus, is there any desire for owning something, having? See, that wanting the experience of having things below my level of awareness. Jesus said that will immediately make you feel like something's missing. Having anything will make you feel like something's missing. Do you see that play? When you feel like you have something, you're always going to want to have more or feel that you have less than you have. Than you want to have. See that play? Wanting more, wanting less, and feeling bereft because you don't have enough or you want more. You desire an experience of having, so that holding on to, so I can have it. And then if I have it, that's the opposite of giving. That's actually having and giving are opposite to each other. He's saying what you are is giving and receiving at the same time. It doesn't have anything. And what it gives is not an object. We're so used to giving with object or giving love as an object. see that, what does the light have? Does it have anything? Does it give anything the way that we think of giving? Like, does it give like a little present in a package? Does it give money to the poor? It's giving because it is. See, as a divine being, that is giving. Light is just giving. This is a really helpful time to see through the concept of what giving is. Jesus, is there any concept of what giving is below our level of awareness, what giving is? See, I give through what I do. Someone gives to me through what they do. Are there any desires for that experience? And so if I have something, I can hold it. And if I give it away, I lose it. See that loss, giving? If I give something away, I lose it. Rather than just being, is giving and receiving. Let's ask the light. Is giving and receiving the same? No difference in the light. So we're using that to put that construct of a concept of something could be given or something could be having in the light. See, those things just don't, the light doesn't know anything. Our true nature doesn't know anything like that. Again, having and giving will always feel, if we feel it, giving is moving an object around or giving love through something that we do, we're going to always feel something's always missing that can never be filled. So this will be this. Let's see how we're doing. Yeah. So one more here with Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. It says, yes, you believe that having rests on getting. You desire and experience that in order to have something, you must get something. Boy, that having's just a really strong doubt thought. It's a doubt thought about divinity. Let's ask the light. Is the idea or the concept that we can have something, you can start to feel how that's like a grab. Is the idea of having something a limitation? Ask the light. We can ask the light. Any idea that we actually own something is a limitation on divine love. Ask the light. We can ask the light that. And it's that I can get something. Does the light get anything? See, it doesn't reach out and say, I can get something. Is it light? Look, light doesn't, it's not looking to get something. And we've talked about this before, like as we start going through A Course in Miracles and doing those lessons and you just feel that getting, it starts to feel not so good. Wanting to get something in a conversation, wanting to prove something. Getting admired, getting compliments. You see the getting? Getting told we're wonderful, getting told thank you. See that we're that's like, you can see how much not enough there is trying to fill an impossibly, it's coming to mind. You know how they say a boat is a hole in the water where you throw money in? That is the boat. The ego's the boat in the water where you throw all your money in. It's just, you try to fill it up with love, the ego's idea of love, and it just, it's a hole in the water where getting just and trying to have something is never full up. It's impossible. You desire an impossible experience. In order to have something, you must get something. And he just keeps reminding me through, let him take you all the way through with a desire. Oh, there's so much love in this. So much energy gets freed up and looking this way. Ask him when you're talking and go, okay, Jesus, show me this desire. Well, let's just do it now. You believe, you desire and experience in order to have something, you must get something. Okay, Jesus, I feel, well, let's see, show me how that's death. How is having and getting death? What's below that having and getting? He'll start to show you how it just goes right down that, that energy leads right to the desire. I want to choose. And feel that energy. Is there any choice in here that I'm trying to eke in to choose something other than divine light? He tells you, yes, keep looking. Any desire for choice, because choice is where death is. Let's ask the light, is death in choice? The light doesn't know choice. So when he takes you down the elevator, when you're ready to go, ask him about, show me where the choice is in this. It's desire for choice. The desire to experience death in this. How having and getting is a way to experience death. Wow, we never looked at it that way before. And then you can see this is the direct path of freeing up all those suppressed energies of no to ourselves, no to the infinite self, the infinite light. And let the miracles flow with his direction. I love this. This is so great. This fine tuning on I'll tell you when the miracles are and what they are, which ones. And we're always asking them, starting those joining. Okay, Jesus, I'd like to look at this. Is this okay? Because then he may come in and he may say, no, not quite that. Look at this. Because the ego will give out looking assignments. Oh, you're so bad. You got to look at this. It'll just start throwing these things out. And he'll help fine tune. Okay, look at this specifically. So helpful, Jesus. Thank you so much. So keep the joining requests coming. We're still not sure how it's all going to work, but it seems to the beings that want to join are seeming to find their way to each other. If we have spaciousness here, and this is our function, really. It's for us. Just hit the join. You guys available? If we are, we'll try and jump on a call or set up a time to join. Or try and connect beings somehow. How this is going to work, we leave it to Jesus. Thank you for leading the way to Supreme Happy Hologram. Amen.